Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I am going to be drawing this guy that I've seen all over my Instagram and Pinterest page lately. If you've seen my other videos, you know that this type of picture and reference is a little bit out of my comfort zone because there's a lot of patterns, there's a lot of colors, and it's just a lot in general, but I figured I would give it a try because I liked how other people's were turning out. I'm also trying to add colors I wouldn't normally first, so I started off with yellow to see how that would go. I was honestly so happy with how this sketch turned out because I really liked the detail I was able to get into everything, and the patterns weren't all that bad when I broke it down into blocks. I did have a weird space at the bottom that has just a line through it, as you can see, because the reference ended there, but I didn't proportion it great with the size of my page, so I ended up just filling that in with black later. Not the most creative way I could have filled that part of the page, but oh well. Also, I'm so sorry I didn't get a video out last week. I had a family emergency and things got hectic and I wasn't able to record. I am excited to say, though, that the winner for the giveaway is announced on my Instagram. Thank you so much for everyone who participated, and don't worry, I will be doing more giveaways hopefully soon on this channel. If there are any art supplies that you would like to see me review, you can always leave those in the comments of my videos, and I love seeing what art supplies you guys use as well. I also feel like I'm getting into a bit of an art block because I haven't drawn in a while, and bear with me because it's probably the roughest art block I've had in a while, because normally I can just draw and get through it, but lately I have just not been feeling like doing art. But I go through phases where sometimes all I want to do is draw and other times I just want to read, so I think it's just one of those times. But anyways, back to this drawing. So I started off with a gray color for the hair. I know it's black in the reference, but I tend to try to do lighter colors first and get a layout of where they're going to be. And then for this toboggan, I did a purple color where the shadow was, and I really like how the cool tone looks. So this is where I realized that I really wanted to do most of this piece in colored pencil, so I started to move to colored pencil instead of using marker. I only used marker for the skin tone. I don't think I'm really a huge fan of how this colored pencil interacts with this sketchbook either, but I am a huge fan of how it interacts with my mixed media Illo sketchbook. I think it's because the paper is a little bit more textured, so it feels like the pencils grip it more. And maybe I'm just crazy and this sketchbook works for other artists, but this is my new pencil sharpener that I got that actually is an eraser, and I was going to show you how the sharpener comes undone so you could dump the shavings, and then proceeded to dump the shavings all over the sketchbook page, so I had to clean that up. I have a lot of different pencil sharpeners, but I feel like for the most part all the other ones tend to break the lead in my pencil, and I know sometimes it's just how the pencil is, but I found when I use this sharpener that it happens less often than other sharpeners. I filled in all the areas that I was going to eventually color black with the gray colored pencil first. I have really been trying to practice and get better at likeness of my references versus what I draw, and I think I did that with this picture. It looks really good in my opinion, and it matches the reference really well. A goal I had for myself in 2025 was to draw more people because I needed more practice, and I felt like I wasn't as good at drawing people. And so far, I feel like I'm doing great with that goal. I'm getting better and I'm learning things while I'm doing it, so I'm extremely happy. Any tips on drawing people are also greatly appreciated. This is the first person that I've actually drawn to the torso on because I've really been trying to focus on faces and expressions and just getting the spacing right between the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and things like that when I do a torso takes away and distracts me from that, so I try to just focus on faces, but this one was just too fun to pass up. With all my colored pencil drawings, I go in with a light layer of whatever color I'm going to use, mainly over that area, and then I go back in with darker shades later on. My technique with colored pencils is very similar to my technique with alcohol markers. I will probably be doing another video on how to combat art block very soon, just because it is what I'm dealing with right now, and I know that sometimes it can be very helpful to other artists to see what I do to help me through it. I really like how the colored pencil interacts with my color erase colored pencil. I feel like it still leaves the lines where I can see where I need to draw over, but it also just adds a little bit of extra color that I love. I've seen some artists draw in graphite and then use colored pencil over that, but I find when I do that, it just looks very muddy, and maybe I'm just doing it wrong or using too much graphite, but I really like how color erase colored pencils look with it. I pretty much use those colored pencils for all of my sketching and don't really sketch in graphite anymore. I do this also because I have a habit of smudging graphite because it smudges so easily, and I think that the color erase colored pencils don't smudge as easily. Although this was very challenging to color and draw, I did have a lot of fun doing this because it was out of my comfort zone, and so it wasn't as boring as what I normally stick to. And maybe when it gets a little warmer outside, I'll feel more inspired to draw because I'll be able to be out in nature more, but right now I just don't really feel like drawing. So who knows if there's going to be a video next week or not. I will try because I know some of you really enjoy watching my videos, and that motivates me to do them in the first place. So I'll try to get one out, but no promises. Maybe I'll try to do a prompt list to get me out of this funk. So I really wasn't sure how I was going to color this plaid because I always struggle with drawing plaid, but I just went in with a light green first, and I do like the way it looks in the end. I think the left side where the fold is in the shirt looks a little off. It doesn't really look like plaid, but you win some, you lose some. Overall, I'm super happy with how the whole picture turned out, so if I have some things I'm not happy about, I'm never going to have a picture where I'm 100% happy with everything. There's always something I'm going to find to improve. I think the thing that drew me to this reference the most was the colors that were in the sweater and the hat, because I wouldn't think they would go good together, but when you see it on the sweater, it actually looks really good. I know there's a big skip in drawing and what I colored and stuff, but I just put down base layers for everything, and I figured you wouldn't want to watch that, so now is when I started going in with more details and a heavier hand. This toboggan gave me a little bit of a struggle because the strings that were coming off the bottom were not all the colors that were in the hat. I feel like there was some missing in the reference, but maybe that's just how they were twirled and how it looked. So I kind of struggled with getting those thread-like appearance, as you can see. But then I went in with dark green lines for the plaid, and I felt like this was crucial to making it look actually like plaid. The sweater in the reference did have a white line, but I didn't really like the idea of leaving it white, so I decided to make it cream instead. And here is me really pressing down and getting that pigment into the paper so that it's not as light colored. I also lined the face with my dark red colored pencil, and I tend to gravitate towards this colored pencil when I want to line things by skin tone. Just because I feel like this color line art complements the skin really well. A long time ago, I used to line everything in black, and then I saw another YouTuber start lining their art in colored line art, and I feel like it just makes everything look so much better than just doing black on everything. I do use black for certain things like the top line of the eye or the pupils, anything like that, but I try to steer clear of it for the most part. for the dark orange on the sweater, it wasn't a bright orange, so I had to layer a brown first and then go over that with orange and repeat that process until I was happy with how the color turned out. But the rest of the colors on the sweater were just one color that I had for that colored pencil. As I was coloring this sweater as well, it kind of bothered me that the stripes didn't go in a pattern, like it was blue, green, cream, orange, but then it didn't go blue, green, cream, orange again. It messed up the pattern, so it bothered me a little bit, but I just copied the reference, so that's how we went. But yeah, I'm gonna let you watch a little bit more of this video and I'll be back later. my favorite part of the whole process, adding in the shading for this coat, because it looks so poofy and turned out exactly how I wanted it to. Very rarely does something turn out the exact way I want it to, so I was super excited. Like I said, I try to steer clear of black line art, but for the zipper pattern on the coat, I did use my black micron and added all the little zipper zigzags. And it may look like I used the black to line the coat, but I actually used a really dark brown colored pencil. I know it feels like I skipped some big chunks in this video, but a lot of times I feel like this video would be way too long if I didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below if you would like to see longer videos, but I just feel like they drag on if I don't have these cuts in them. Also, let me know if you'd rather watch videos that have them more sped up, but a lot more of the process instead of these cuts, because I'm always interested to see what my audience likes. I know some YouTubers prefer to do the time-lapse style drawings, but I tend to like to watch the videos where it shows more of the process in real time. But back to this picture. Once I was done with this part of the coat, the yellow part, the shading, I was pretty much done with this piece besides adding the black line at the bottom. And I loved drawing the coat, even though it had a lot of details. And I did struggle with the black shading on the right side. It doesn't look as good as the left side, but I still had so much fun drawing all the creases and highlights and shadows. So here's me filling up this bottom area with my black RTX acrylic marker. Love, love, love my acrylic markers, but that's pretty much it. So I really appreciate you guys for watching this far, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.